Straight ahead on 12 News, added protection for some of Hennepin County's bravest. Then, the power of the pedal.
We can go anywhere and not have to ride on a road.
Find out what else has Twin Cities cyclists charged up. But first, a sight to get used to. A Robbinsdale neighborhood braces for a summer of road construction. 12 News starts right now. Construction time has arrived. Hello, I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. The summer road construction season will get even busier on Wednesday in Robbinsdale when a busy road closes for major reconstruction. Lake Drive, also known as County Road 9, will close from France Avenue to the west edge of Victory Memorial Drive. Mayor Regan Murphy says it needs fixing. He says it's like riding in a covered wagon. It's the first part of a project that could take 2 years to complete. It will eventually cover about 1 mile of road between Xerxes and County Road 81. The city and county are rebuilding the road, including updating sewer lines and underground utilities.
Prosecutors say tit-for-tat gang violence has landed a Brooklyn Park man and a Brooklyn Center man behind bars. 23-year-old Kibby Walker of Brooklyn Park is accused of shooting at a car with 2 women and an infant inside near Hennepin County Medical Center in Minneapolis. A pregnant woman suffered a gunshot wound to the leg. That shooting came after Walker himself was shot as he was leaving his job at Target Field. 27-year-old James Davis of Brooklyn Center is charged in that shooting. Prosecutors say the shootings stem from ongoing violence between 2 rival street gangs.
Police say alcohol was a factor in a 1-car crash that caused significant damage on Main Street in Maple Grove. The incident happened shortly after 2 a.m. on Saturday when a car skidded off the road and slammed into a brick retaining wall and a metal railing. Police say the driver and passengers suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The Maple Grove City Council approved the hiring of a new police chief Monday night. Eric Werner comes to Maple Grove from Rosemount, where he currently serves as the police chief there. Werner will be sworn in on June 16th. Well, canine officers with the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office now have new protective vests.
That's a big deal when you consider 60% of police dog deaths are caused by gunshot, stabbing, or blunt trauma injuries. Sonia Goins has more on the essential equipment.
Comes home with me and we live together and we come to work together every day.
Deputy Tyson Donnelly and his canine partner Smokey have been together for 2 years. Smokey is one of 8 four-legged officers recently outfitted with a ballistic vest.
Come on.
Putting the device on is easier said than done.
Just like with anything new, the dog's going to be a little weirded out by it.
The canine vest will take some getting used to. They're heavier than the ones human officers wear.
They're also stab-proof, or stab-resistant also, so they're going to be a little heavier than just a regular vest for us.
But Deputy Donnelly says the equipment is needed. He says Smokey puts his life on the line every day.
We come across a lot of situations where we're looking for people that are armed, and it's always nice to have that extra protection for the dog when he's searching for a dangerous suspect.
Donnelly says he has peace of mind knowing Smokey is protected.
Oh, it's great. Less likely chance that he'll get hurt.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
A Massachusetts company donated the 8 vests. Each one costs about $950.
Plymouth Fertilizer Company, with large-scale global operations, plans to cut 500 jobs. Mosaic will reduce its workforce over the next year through a combination of layoffs, early retirements, and attrition. A company spokesperson says a small number of positions in Plymouth will be impacted. The cuts follow a drop in profits this year. Mosaic specializes in phosphate and potash mining. Well, the mild weather in Minnesota comes at just the right time for area cyclists, as this is Minneapolis Bike Week.
Eric Nelson has more on why the Twin Cities has developed a reputation for biking.
Pedal power is in vogue these days in the bike-obsessed Twin Cities. Hopping on a trail has become a hip thing to do. There is certainly plenty of motivation to ride a bike.
Just getting outdoors, seeing a lot of stuff that we don't see when we're driving in a car.
The exercise piece of it, and in our short summers, and just getting out and seeing things that I've driven past for years and discovering really neat places in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area.
He can ride a lot.
Ken Hudobah and Tom LeMay are biking fanatics. They spent this breezy day riding from Medicine Lake in Plymouth
Where are we going, Ken?
to downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah, downtown.
According to the Three Rivers Park District,
Not bad.
they are not alone.
Not bad.
There are 3.7 million trail visits per year. One reason why the Twin Cities is nationally known as a biking mecca is because this metro area has an extensive trail system. The cycling grid is impressive. 65 miles of regional trails, 85 more in the planning stages, and a current total of 200 trail miles in the metro.
I'm always amazed that when we go riding that we can go anywhere and not have to ride on a road. We can go from home all the way through the suburbs, all the way downtown, and around it and back out.
There's a ton of trails around. Anywhere you go, you've got trails. We've got plenty of trails right out the door, out the store here. You've got trails that'll connect pretty much anything.
When the thermometer goes up, bike sales go up too, as they spike in the spring. Minneapolis Bike Week promotes riding for the casual and the passionate.
Even if you're not commuting to work, you can still hop on the bike and just run the little errands that you do to the store, to the grocery store, whatever you want to do.
In Golden Valley, Eric Nelson, 12 News.
There are plenty of events connected with Bike Week. Wednesday is Bike to School Day, and Thursday is Bike to Work Day.
Well, Golden Valley hopes a new lawn bowling green will help bring energy and new income to the Brookview golf course. Golf and lawn bowling will be played side by side beginning in August as golf courses look for ways to add to the bottom line. An 8-lane or rink lawn bowling green is now under construction there. Early interest seems pretty good. Golden Valley's Parks Director says players are already signing up for leagues before the course is even built.
We're looking for some energy to create an additional revenue stream, sort of diversify our options. So we're hoping this is a successful opportunity. We're going to have leagues in here on weeknights. We, of course, have open bowling. We're going to have older adult programs and youth programs, and we're hoping all that activity helps our golf budget.
The city is also hoping the legislature will approve a liquor license, which may help draw more lawn bowlers. Coming up, something you shouldn't take lightly when you spend some time outdoors.
It is also the subject of a new art exhibit. We'll explain next. And then later in sports, Champlin Park and Maple Grove meet on the baseball and softball diamonds.
But first, thunderstorms appearing. They rumble in late Wednesday.
A University of Minnesota study finds that sports drinks may not actually produce a sporty, healthy lifestyle.
No, the study found that teens who consume sports and energy drinks at least once a week were more likely to smoke, spend more time playing video games and watching TV, and drinking other sugary beverages. The authors of the study point out that consuming sports drinks doesn't cause those behaviors, but the findings suggest these beverages are part of a cluster of choices associated with poorer health outcomes. The study focused on nearly 2,800 teens in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. With warmer temperatures finally here, it's also the time when Minnesotans have to be careful about insect bites.
That's true, and it's especially true when it comes to ticks carrying Lyme disease. In today's Health Check report, Delane Cleveland shows us how one group of people who suffer from Lyme disease are trying to raise awareness about the issue.
It's kind of a form of art therapy, I consider it. People are able to express themselves through their art.
Art is considered a form of expression.
She put a chain around herself and has notes attached to her as to what she's feeling. Depression is a part of Lyme as well.
With every piece telling a different story.
I would have these dreams about, asking help from my friends, and they would kind of turn into these demons, and I'd wake up in pools of sweat.
Here at the Maple Grove Art Center, each painting and photograph is fundamentally different, yet they're all connected through Lyme disease.
We want to get this information out there. We want a voice for the people who are afflicted, and art is one way to transform that.
The exhibit, called Ticked Off Art, features 30 different artists who either have Lyme disease or know of someone who does.
It's like losing a piece of you.
Vicki Kager is one of the artists with work on display.
My symptoms were joint pain, bone pain, and memory loss.
She says she's had Lyme disease since she was a child.
Taking off ticks was like a family event. We'd all stick them in Grandma's ashtray.
We don't have canned treatments for people, or a pill can't cure this.
Lori Link, the executive director of the Arts Center, has Lyme disease as well.
Suffer from arthritis, neuritis. I drop things all the time. I have fatigue, brain fog.
With this exhibit, their goal is to begin a dialogue to bring more attention to the tick-borne disease.
They're going to see everything from art that is expressive of the person suffering, and they're going to see some beautiful things too.
The disease has had a significant impact on both Vicki and Lori.
The key is to get the word out there about the disease and how it can change your life.
And they hope this exhibit has a similar impact for those seeking treatment.
If our family and friends and community knew how much we were suffering, maybe more would be done.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The exhibit at the Maple Grove Arts Center goes through May 29th. All proceeds will directly benefit the artists. Coming up, a science lesson that's pitch perfect in Brooklyn Center.
But first in sports, Maple Grove's boys tennis team aims to take care of business against Armstrong. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. So how important is pitching? I guess ask the folks at Champlin Park. They have a pitcher that got out of there with relatively few pitches.
Right, and a guy that's really one of the best pitchers in the conference, so no surprise to see him throwing well this day. The Maple Grove and Champlin Park baseball teams are hoping to be more consistent as you get into the heart of the regular season. They met up on the Rebels' home field on a beautiful day Monday, and it is a pitcher's duel. Brandon Rushmeyer of Champlin Park gets Ethan Hendricks on a check swing strikeout. Noah Croker follows suit for the Crimson. His curveball gets Michael Brooks swinging. Fourth inning, Croker's in a mini jam, but Jason Anderson bounces to second baseman Brett Schulte, who tags the runner and then flips to first to get the double play to end the inning. And the game is still scoreless. To the fifth inning, Champlin Park gets on the board. Croker's pitch here is in the dirt and will skip past the catcher. Eric Pearson scores, and it's 1-0 Rebels. Rushmeyer protects that lead. He gets Schulte on the strikeout in the top of the sixth to keep it 1-0 Champlin Park. Bottom of the sixth inning, the Rebels get an insurance run. Pearson will bounce a hit through the left side. Daniel Kiel scores to make it 2-0 Champlin Park. And Rushmeyer does the rest, shutting down Maple Grove on just 68 pitches for a 2-0 win. Maple Grove's top-rated softball team lost for the first time this spring in a tournament over the weekend. The Crimson looked to post its second win of the season over Champlin Park. Jordan Jenrich will lay down a bunt. Brittany Davis beats the tag at home to score after stealing second and third. And it's 1-0 Rebels in the second. That changes with one Maddie Gordon swing. Gordon connects with a Cassie Meyer pitch, driving it over the fence and right. It's a two-run homer for Gordon that gives Maple Grove a 2-1 lead in the third inning. They added the lead in the fifth. Sarah Michael singles up the middle to score Gordon, and it's 3-1 Crimson, and they're not done scoring yet. Sarah Southern slices a liner to left that brings Michael home. Southern goes 4 for 4 on the day. The Crimson get 3 in the inning to lead it 5-1. And that's plenty for pitcher Sydney Smith. She fans 11 Rebels and throws a 3-hitter in a 5-1 Crimson win. Park Center and Osseo met for the second time this season in softball. Park Center strikes early in this game as Kara Musial drives it to the fence in left center. Joe Rosby scores. The Pirates get 3 in the bottom of the first. Courtney Calkins ties it with one mighty blast, smashing it out to left for a 3-run drive. Osseo makes it a 3-3 game in the third, but that's all of their scoring for the day. After going up 4-3, Park Center adds another in the fifth. Daniel Adamich singles up the middle to score a run, and Park Center wins it by a score of 5-3. Maple Grove's boys tennis team has become one of the state's best in the last couple of years. After a fifth-place finish at the loaded Edina Invitational Saturday, the Crimson jumped back into Northwest Suburban Conference play at Armstrong Monday. Number one singles play, freshman Nikita Shezko really dialed in early with a hard approach shot and a volley winner here for the Falcons. And then it's Shezko running down a deep ball in the corner before ripping a forehand winner, and he builds a 4-1 lead in the first set. But Maple Grove's Zach Atkins comes back to win the first set 6-4, and he takes the second set 6-3 and wins the match. Number 2 singles, Charlie Atkins for Maple Grove, Hunter Fernelius for Armstrong. They'll trade shot to the net before Atkins puts away the overhead winner. He wins 6-2, 6-1. Number 3 singles, Sam Hochberger serving for Armstrong. Joe Lipovich strokes the forehand winner for the Crimson. And then number 2 doubles play, Rudy Lipovich and True Landis in the far court for Armstrong. Lipovich cracks the volley winner. Trevor Gift will work the serve and volley for a Maple Grove point. Gift and Ryan Peterson win the match in straight sets, and Maple Grove wins 7-0. That is a very good Crimson team this spring.
So some good players right there. Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a science lesson where hearing is believing.
Plus, how did he get up there? Some Maple Grove kindergartners want to know when we come back. Some principals go to great lengths to motivate their students. Basswood Elementary Principal Patrick Smith rewarded his students by spending 24 hours on top of the school roof. He volunteered to do it after students accomplished a lofty reading goal. The principal says he likes camping, so he was able to survive the night. And as you can imagine, students had lots of fun with the strange sight up above.
One of my 5th grade teachers came up and did a radio broadcast so some of the students in the classes could ask questions and hear how things were going. And so they were asking things like, you know, how do I go to the bathroom up here, and how am I going to eat, and who's going to cook for me, and all that kind of stuff. So it was fun.
That's important stuff. Principal Smith has done crazy things before to motivate the kids. He's been duct taped to a wall and has had water balloons thrown at him. He's a good sport.
Yeah.
And finally, when you think of a sound, you probably don't think about what it looks like.
Instructors from the Science Museum of Minnesota are showing students in Brooklyn Center. The Science Museum is bringing hands-on engineering education to Earle Brown Elementary students this month. Using different bird calls, this 3rd grade class is learning about sound, pitch, and volume by using different objects to represent sound. Meantime, the Science Museum is teaching other classes about building bridges and designing water filters, and it helps break down some complex topics for both teachers and students.
Technology seems so huge, engineering seems so huge, and being able to take it down to look at what I can create, look at what I can do, it brings it to, I do make a difference, and I can do these things. So I think that's a huge thing that our students are learning.
The Science Museum time in the classroom is possible through a grant from Cargill, and they're also visiting Robbinsdale schools. And that does it for us. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again here tomorrow beginning at 4.